The phone rang while I was standing in the dark. Dad's old warehouse still smelled the same. Dust, rust, cold metal. Memories. I stood near the office window, staring at the empty loading dock when my phone buzzed again. The screen glowed like an accusation. "Unknown caller," I answered. Her voice came through the line, sharp and impatient. "If you want to join Thanksgiving, come wash the dishes." My daughter-in-law laughed. Not a polite laugh. The kind that comes when people forget you're human. I imagined her holding the phone with one hand while leaning against my kitchen counter, the same counter I had paid for. Probably surrounded by my son's friends. Maybe wine in their glasses. Maybe mockery in their eyes. "Hello?" she said again. "You still there?" I looked around the warehouse. Rows of silent shelves, old crates, shadows stacked like secrets. "Yes," I said quietly. A pause. She expected anger, begging, something desperate. Instead, I gave her one word: enjoy. Then I hung up. Silence returned. But my mind wasn't quiet, because 2 nights earlier, I had seen something in this warehouse. Something she didn't know I saw. Her laughter. 2 men. And the kind of betrayal that grows slowly, like rot inside wood. I opened the folder in my phone. Dozens of photos. Every lie she ever told me, frozen in perfect clarity. My phone buzzed again. Not her. A notification. My villa listing in Switzerland had just gone live. Luxury estate. Lake view. Price tag high enough to choke a greedy throat. I smiled slightly. The game had begun. It started with something small. Laughter. Not the kind you hear at dinner, the kind that belongs to strangers. 3 nights ago, I came to the warehouse late. I wanted quiet. I opened the side door and stopped. Voices. Her voice. My daughter-in-law. Soft, playful, intimate. I stepped closer to the cracked office door. Through the glass, I saw her, leaning against the desk, laughing. 2 men stood close to her. Too close. One of them touched her arm. The other whispered something that made her throw her head back in amusement. My chest tightened, but I didn't move. I watched, silently. She said something I'll never forget. "Relax, the old man thinks I'm visiting my mother tonight." The men laughed. One of them asked, "And your husband?" She shrugged. "He trusts me." That word echoed. Trust. Such a fragile lie. I stepped back into the shadows. Something cold settled inside me. Not rage. Rage is loud. This was quiet, calculated. I pulled out my phone. The camera lens blinked, and I began documenting the death of my respect. Photo after photo. Hands touching. Secrets shared. A kiss. Another one. And another. 3 people. 1 marriage. 0 shame. I stayed until they left. None of them noticed me. People rarely see what they don't fear. But that night I understood something. This betrayal wasn't sudden. It was practiced. Comfortable. Which meant the lies had roots, and roots can be pulled. The next morning I smiled at breakfast. She poured coffee. Acting normal. Perfect. Actors rarely know when the audience has already seen the script. I watched her carefully. The way she checked her phone under the table. The quick smiles at invisible messages. Patterns began forming, so I started collecting them. Phone records first. My son shared a family account. He never checked it. I did. 2 unknown numbers. Daily calls. Late night. Long conversations. Then the bank transfers. Small payments from an account I didn't recognize. But the names on the transfers were familiar. The same 2 men from the warehouse. Interesting. Very interesting. I followed the trail. Social media. Old photos. Tagged locations. Bars. Hotels. Private events. Each step confirmed something darker. This wasn't just cheating. It was business. Manipulation. My son wasn't just a husband. He was an investment. His salary. His inheritance. My inheritance. Which meant she was waiting for me to die. That realization didn't hurt. It clarified things. People reveal their true loyalty when money appears. So I created a small experiment. I called a real estate broker in Switzerland. A friend owed me a favor. We staged photos. A luxury villa. Mountains. Private dock. Beautiful lies. Then I posted them publicly, considering retirement here. Within 2 hours, my daughter-in-law liked the post. Within 3, she called my son. Within 5, She called me. I didn't answer. Instead, I watched my phone fill with missed calls and smiled. Greed always moves faster than love. 3 days later, we sat at the dinner table. My son, his wife, and me. She looked nervous, probably thinking about Switzerland, about inheritance, about the future she planned to steal. I slid an envelope across the table. My son frowned. "What's this?" "Truth," I said. He opened it. Photos spilled onto the wood. Warehouse. Kisses. Hands. Her face drained of color. "No," she whispered. My son looked at her. Then back at the images. Then back at her again. Silence stretched. "What is this?" he asked quietly. She tried to speak. Lies usually come quickly, but not tonight. Because the evidence didn't blink, I leaned back in my chair. Calm. Watching. She finally whispered, "It's not what it looks like." My son laughed once. A broken sound, and I spoke for the first time. "You should see the videos." Her head snapped toward me. Fear. Real fear. Good. Now she understood. This story was no longer hers to control. The phone calls started that night, one after another. Desperate! I ignored them all. The next morning, my Switzerland villa photos went viral in our family group chat. Luxury, money, freedom. And suddenly, my phone exploded. Missed calls, messages, voicemails, 71 calls, all from her. Greed had turned panic into obsession. Finally, I answered. Her voice trembled. "I need to talk." "No," I said. "You don't understand." "I understand perfectly." Silence. Then the truth slipped out. "I made mistakes," she whispered. Mistakes. Interesting word for betrayal. "I've already sent the photos," I told her calmly. "To who?" "My lawyer, my son, and both of your friends' wives." The line went dead quiet. 3 lives collapsing simultaneously. Efficient. Precise. No shouting. No drama, just consequences. I ended the call and blocked her number. 2 weeks later, the divorce was final. My son moved back home. He didn't speak much. But sometimes silence is healing. As for her, she disappeared from our lives completely. No inheritance, no marriage, no protection, just the ruins she built herself. I returned to the warehouse yesterday, the same place where it began. Dust, rust, cold metal. But something had changed. The air felt lighter, cleaner. Truth does that. I stood in the doorway for a long moment. Then I deleted the photos. Not because she deserved mercy, but because I no longer needed proof. Revenge had already done its work. I walked out, locked the door behind me, and for the first time in months, I felt nothing, which sometimes is the greatest victory of all.